Hello makers, welcome to Always Yarn First, a podcast about knitting, crochet, spinning, and all the yarny goodness in between. I'm Lindsay and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. And as always, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Before we get into the episode, I always like to do a little admin stuff first. First of all, I am currently co-hosting a couple make-alongs. The first one is the hashtag Nothing But Double make-along, which is with my friend Lori from Arkansas Yarn Co. We are making blankets. You can make them any size, knit or crochet. The only thing is you have to hold yarn double. So you can use that hashtag or you can post on my Ravelry page. And then the other one I'm co-hosting through the end of the year is Stripe Along 2023. And I'm co-hosting that with Kimbers Cozy Creations, Happy Little Yarn, and Jessalyn Janice. And linked below, we're each hosting it at a different venue, so to speak. I am hosting it on Ravelry. So you can go to my Ravelry page and there is a chat thread, which I will be personally pulling a prize per month, October, November, December. And then there's a finished object thread, which we're all going to use for our grand prize draws at the end of the make-along. So you can enter your same makes on all of those things for better chances to win. So in regards to that, not necessarily having to do with that, but I'm having a giveaway that isn't necessarily regarding that, but you could use it to make a stripe project. I had gone through my yarn stash. I don't remember the last time I do. I usually do it every few months to see if everything, quote, brings me joy still. And I had this yarn picked out for like a cotton tee. I don't remember the pattern name. I was just going to stripe these for like a basic cotton tee. And they're just not bringing me happiness anymore. And actually at one point then my daughter said she wanted to use it. So she took it away. I completely forgot about it. And then when she cleaned out her room a while ago, she's like, I don't want these. So they've literally been sitting in my living room. So what this is Plymouth yarn Cleo. It is 100% mercerized Pima cotton. It is 50 grams, approximately 125 yards per skein here. So I have 3 of coral color and 3 of chocolate color. So you could make a nice cotton tee if you like. And so I want to give this away immediately. So if you watch this video and you comment below, any comment will do, and we'll put you into entry. And then the next podcast, I will give it away. So please make sure if you comment below that you watch the podcast in 2 weeks so you can see if you've won this. So then you could use it to make something for Stripe Along and enter to win a prize there. All right, so I think that's all I have. I will say today is a super rainy, cloudy day, and I have my front door open. I podcast in my dining room by my front door, and my door is open to let as much natural light in here as possible. But my dogs also, anytime they see movement out of that door, they like to bark. So I will try to catch it if they do so and pause this. But they are eagerly looking out the door right now, and you're going to hear the little pitter patters. So I apologize about that. I just wanted to get as much natural light, but if I have this open, then it's like glaring behind me. So moving on. So this is episode 49 of the podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you like what you hear, what you see, and you stick around. If you are new, I like to name all my podcasts after song titles because before my love of yarn was my love of music. I love most genres of music, and I always find there's an appropriate song vibe or title that meshes with my making currently. So I also have a playlist on Spotify that you can find linked below. So if you'd like to see, hear all the songs that I have named every episode after, then you can follow my playlist below. So this week, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen that I'm obsessed with this song. This was one song that came on my Instagram one day, and anyway, this song came up like as an ad on my Instagram, and I'm like, and I just heard like a snippet, and I'm like, what is that? I kind of like that vibe, and I have been obsessed with it ever since, and play it every day numerous times. So the song is called Workin' Hard, and it is by Fuji Kaze. It is a Japanese artist, and even if you don't like normally listen to pop songs or music in other languages, I urge you to go listen to this song. It's so good. So anyways, working hard because y'all, I have been working hard, and I'm about to show you. So this week's podcast, I have finished objects, cast-ons, whips, and then acquisitions and future make talk. There's no spinning again, which is so sad because every day this week, I've literally thought about spinning. Like, I want to get out my spinner and spin. But I was really trying hard to finish these few things, which I all got done. So I'm happy about that. But I have missed spinning so much. But I'm hoping, really hoping. You know, it's going to be rainy all weekend. So I'm hoping this weekend to be perfect time to sit and spin. So I always have timestamps below so you can switch around to whatever you like to watch or skip if you want. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing, what I'm wearing, gets us into our finished objects. And I am wearing the Comfort Zone shawl by Nicole, who is Prof Pearl on Instagram, Professor Pearl on YouTube. You guys have been seeing me work on this. It is a super potato chippy knit. It is wonderful to work on. It calls for 1 skein of fingering plus 1 skein of lace. I used mustache yarn. I had the black is Inkwell. And then I used this Tweedy like thread basically, and it is Creative Make It Tweed in the colorway Multi. I love this. This is so much fun. I definitely will make another, if not many other shawls. This is kind of my favorite shape because you can always, you know, do one of these things for your shoulders, which always looks good, or you can do it the way I like to when I'm not worrying about it trying to fall off, which is just kind of throw it around like that. So awesome, awesome pattern. Last I knew, she was going to release this November 1st. So should be Wednesday that this pattern comes out. So definitely check it out. All right, I have 2 more finished objects. The other big one is my cowl. This is my design I have been working on for quite a while. If you've been watching me for a little bit, you'll see I tinkered with this pattern on a set of minis I had that were bright neon. And then I realized, I think it was only like a 10 set of minis that I had. And I'm like, I should be doing this to do Advent. Advent season's coming up. I should write this as that people can use it for Advents if they choose to. So I had to put that one aside, which I still haven't finished. And I pulled out 24 minis from my stash and made this. Now, this is kind of a mishmash at first. So here is where I started. And I will tell you, even though you can use this for Advents, we all know that Advents, when you get them, you have no control of what colors you're getting. They're not necessarily in a fade. They don't necessarily look great together. The full skein may not go with every single color individually. what I did for mine is my main skein, I use this one full skein. I used Yummy Plush and Arkansas Yarn Co. Wedding Cake, which is the white undyed skein. And then I pulled out 24 minis from my personal stash of all kinds of things, and I arranged them a variegated next to a tonal or semi-tonal. And so mine kind of fades very, very loosely is what I could have. So I started the pattern here, and I love it. You can see from the camera, even when I hold it off, you can see the color held with itself when you get to that part because it stands out. But the problem was when I got to a certain part, I realized that I was going to need more than one skein of the main color, and that wasn't going to work. So what I did, this purple was color 12. So basically, after I finished half, like I was doing, I switched to this. So now this side is the last 12 colors I used. This is the actual pattern. So starting here with this like purpley gray section, I changed it up a bit. It's held with itself a little bit more than it was on the other side. And I started with a brand new skein of 100 grams for my main color. And then after I was done with this, I weighed it and made sure it was under 50 grams to assure that you could use it for this project, one skein. And it works better. And actually, I think it looks nicer this way. The minis shine more because there's more of the color held with itself. So I love it. So this patterning right here is going to be what I released on Ravelry. And I did think of a name for it. It is called the Infinite Happiness Cowl. Because even though I started it one way and then went to a different way and then finished a third way, I never got sick of making this. It was an easy pattern. It is a 4-row repeat. And then just seeing the colors change always makes me happy. So I loved it, and it will get good wear. So I will show you here. So you've been watching me make this, where I make it in the round. And so at the end of the pattern, here's what I did. I did a 3-needle bind off. Now, if you're familiar with a 3-needle bind off, it leaves a ridge. I like the ridge. I literally put it, it's kind of like, I feel like the tag on my shirt. I put it exactly like that. And then I just double up and get cozy with it. So that's how I like to do it. Because the start of this pattern is a provisional cast on. So you would put those stitches back on the needles, and then you straighten out your cowl. You make sure your ends and on the inside are secured, and you can just tie them together with each other in knots because no one's going to see them. And make sure it's straight unless you want like a twisted kind of like Mobius look. Once you do that, so you'll have 2 16-inch circular needles going. And at that point, I just 3-needle bind off. It's easier, and like I said, I like the ridge. I like to know where the beginning and end is. Now, if you don't want the ridge, I suggest you do the Kitchener stitch around. That's how you would normally do it when you're seaming those together. But if this doesn't bother you, here is what it looks like. So I am really happy about this. So this pattern will be released on Monday, November 14th. So that if you choose to, you can look at it and like figure out with your advents if you'd like to make it. It is going to be a very warm cowl. You can see how thick it is. And I love it. And if you remember, I said I was going to give away basically a kit to make this. So I've been holding it in my yarn crawl bag from this year. So what is in here is all right, what is in here is all my minis. It's going to be kind of hard to show. So I've literally thrown them in. I haven't wrapped them. It's not going to be a surprise, anything like that. Now, full disclosure, because the pattern changed a little bit, I was using more of the minis on the second half because I was holding it together more than I was the first half. So some discretion is allowed, but the thing is you can do what you want with the pattern, the color combos of it. But I have every single mini that I've used in my cowl, and I'm going to purchase a skein of the Yummy Plush wedding cake that I also used and add it to here. So you will get this bag full of all the minis I used, plus one full skein of wedding cake and my pattern. So I didn't think ahead how to enter for this one. To enter specifically for the cowl, if you want the cowl, is use the words infinite happiness in your comment below. So all comments will enter you to win the yarn I'm giving away at the top of the podcast. If you want the cowl, use the words infinite happiness. So yay, 2 giveaways this week. I'm really excited for that. I really, really enjoyed making it. At the end, it was a race against time, but I love it. I will definitely make it again. And I actually want to use that patterning for a few other things because I enjoyed it so much. All right, I have one more finished object. And not only is it a finished object, it is an acquisition, a new cast on finished object. So let's talk about it. Doesn't look like a lot here. This is called the Flux Cowl by Devin Ventre. Now, I think I mentioned it, that I had ordered it. I talked about future makes last time. I hadn't gotten the yarn yet. So this is the cool thing about this. This is also a cowl. But if you notice, it's wider on the bottom than it is on the top. So there is a little bit of shaping in this cowl. And the reason it is because it sits so beautifully. So if it would have been the same, the opening just would have been like down here. But because it's narrower on the top, it's just like a decorative, beautiful piece. I love this so much. I gotta find my tag here. So the yarn is Knitty McPurly Yarn Co. This is a new base to her. This is Dresden DK. It is 90% baby Surrey alpaca, 10% silk. So if you've used Surrey silk before, that's what this is, except it's DK weight. It is wonderful. One skein of this is 100 grams, 246 yards. I had quite a bit left after this. This is a one skein project. It goes so fast. It took me less than a week, but that was me not even working on it every day because I was working on other things. But last night I was so close that I just finished it, and I love it. It is light as air, but with the Surrey, I can tell if you're outside with the air hitting you, it's going to be amazing, but just so decorative. So you're going to see another skein of this because this one, so here's what happened. I watched, Devin has a podcast that I love. It uploads every Sunday. And I was watching her podcast. She was talking about her new base, her new pattern. I'm like, I need that in my life. And I put it in my cart. And I thought of my friend Lori. I'm like, Lori's going to love this cowl. And she's going to want to steal it from me. And so I'm like, you know what? I better just get an extra skein. If it's a one skein project, I'll just make one for both of us. So this is going to be for my friend Lori. And the other yarn that I will show you in acquisitions, I'm going to make for myself. But super fast knit, super luxurious feel. Great idea for gift knitting. I'm just saying. So go to her website. I have it linked below. All right, that is all my finished objects. I am so happy with every single one of them, y'all. All right, so let's move on to cast on. So besides my Flux cowl I cast on a sock. It's not going to really look like a sock though. Okay, so you know that I've been working on my Kimbers Crozet creation Fall Valentine, and I had been mentioning that I was going to do a design on it. As I was going, I was thinking, I don't think it's going to work for the self-striping. So you'll see that I'm working on it, but I really had this idea in my head, so I wanted to work on it. So again, another acquisition I got was this yarn. Last one was at Arkansas Yarn Co. It's Teenybutton Studio Soft Sock in the colorway Liar Liar Plants on Fire. And I had casted on, I am a preferred cuff down sock knitter. The Kimbers I had started toe up specifically for this design. But then I thought, man, I wonder if I could just kind of like reverse it and make the pattern either way, like just write it for either cuff down or bottom up. So I started a cuff and started the sock. It doesn't help that it's also variegated. Granted, I'm also going to knit a sample of this. I have a beautiful green tonal from Legacy Fiber Arts that I'm going to use. But it was so muddied and I couldn't even tell if it was working. So I completely frogged that. So I had, cast on, done all the ribbing, moved into the sock, was doing the patterning, and I'm like, I just don't think this is working. So I was so impatient about casting on a toe, knitting the whole foot, because the sock pattern I'm doing is just from the heel up and in the back of the leg. It's a lace design just on the back of the leg. So I got impatient, so I did a provisional cast on. So this would be like the heel. And then I'm, just regular knitting on one side and I'm doing my pattern. Now, even though this is variegated, right? So I said that I couldn't see the pattern the other way. I thought, okay, is it just the yarn or is it just not working in my head the way I thought it would? I can see the patterning on here. Let's see if I have. This might help a little. So you can see that it's a plant and you can see that it's matched up correctly. Maybe not see great, but you can see it. And it was not working the other way. So I will turn this into sock. I basically am going to keep going and then I'll do the cuff. And then I'm going to pick up these provisional stitches and do my heel and then work the foot and the toe. I won't write it up, the pattern up like that. It will be a toe up sock. But like I said, I just got impatient and I just wanted to start on the patterning. But I love this color and I'll probably just knit this one sock and then I will cast on, before I finish the second one, I will cast on with the green so I can really see the patterning and do that the correct way. Cast on, toe up, do the foot, so on and so forth. So yeah, but I am happy with this. It doesn't really look like a sock, but that's okay. So this is my next design that I'm working on. All right. That is all for cast-ons. Yes. All right, so let's get into whips. So since I just talked about that sock, let's talk about it. This is in my trappings and trinkets bag. So this is almost a hoe. This is Kimbers Cozy Creation. This is my fall Valentine. And then I'm using stash, what was left of this Hey Sister Yarn Co. They're no longer dying. That was a Gilmore Girls colorway, I'm pretty sure. So you've seen this sock. I had cast on toe up. I've been knitting it. I put in the marker for where I'm putting my heel in, and this is where I was last time, where the pumpkin is. And then I decided, like, nope, this is just going to be a vanilla sock. So I knit a while longer, and this morning I did the cuff. So this just needs an afterthought heel, and one sock will be done. I don't like super long socks. My design is going to be longer just because so you can really see that patterning going up the leg. But normally my socks aren't even this long. Usually I like to do a total of 25 rounds from casting on the cuff to starting the heel. So I did a little extra this time, which is fine. But I love this color. So good. Guess I can take this pumpkin stitch marker off. So I haven't started the second sock. I literally just finished this cuff this morning. But it should go fast now that I know it's a vanilla sock, which usually means I take it if I'm going to be social somewhere because it's so nice and easy. All right, next is the woven cable headband. That is in my Knit for Brains Rainbow Bright bag that I love. I just like to show off these stars. I know you can't grasp that you can feel them, but oh my gosh, it's so good. So this is the headband I had started for my sister-in-law. My niece is in band, color guard, and so I thought take a school color and make her a warm headband. So here's where I am so far. I like to have my this is an 8-row repeat pattern, so I like to have this on so I know which row I'm on. Yeah, not much to this. You just knit it flat, doing the cables, and then you attach it for a headband. And I previously showed I've made 3 of them so far. And the yarn I'm using is Bernat Softee Chunky in the colorway Berry Red. So this is just an acrylic yarn. And this is a free pattern. My go-to headband pattern I love. So not much to say there. I love this bag so much. All right, next up is my Pure Joy. I have worked on it since the last podcast, but not very much. It is in one of my Woolly Bean bags. Love Juanita's bags. All right, this one is in Teenybutton Studio is the variegated color in Island Getaway. And Homestead Fiber is like the minty green colorway, and it is called Paul. Literally, you see where my stitch marker is? I'm just getting ready to start that next wedge, and I think I'm just in the short rows. Like I just started. Again, I was focused on those 3 things getting done. Not so much the Flux cowl, but once I got that yarn, I cast on that day because it was so wonderful feeling that I needed it, and it was a treat for my hands. But my cowl and the test knit, those were my focus. This is going to be my goal to finish next month because the Ho-He Fall Knit Along ends next month, and I'd like to at least finish one object from it. So yeah, this is Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli, a very easy popcorn knit, just a lot of short rows, but I think I have one more wedge, and then the last wedge is the solid color. So I think a couple nights of like family TV watching and I can accomplish that. All right, so next up is the Litmus Cowl. So again, another acquisition for the month. I got my monthly package from Gritty Knits, the All Year Advent Minis Club. And so I'm doing 2 projects with those minis. Get the colors out. First of all, this bag is awesome. And I didn't write down, let's see, Puff Stitch Co. is the bag maker. And again, it has a different fabric inside. So first, let me show you the colors. So the colors don't have names, they're just numbered. So this is color, I have to remember because I got a bonus color the first month she gave it to me. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. This is colorway 5. And then this is colorway 6. So I have 2 projects. I only started 1. So I'm finishing this one first. So this is the Litmus Cowl. The Litmus Cowl, I'm using Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in black as my main color to go between. So I'm doing, this is a free pattern, so I'm not giving any information away. This is the pattern that inspired me to make my cowl because this is just stockinette and I love it, but I wanted some texture. So that's kind of got me going on my cowl. Again, provisional cast on. And I am doing, I wrote down here, I decided to do 12 rows of each color and 10 rows of the main color. So you'll see that, and again, the lighting right now, this might be all right. So I'm kind of holding it upside down. So this is colorway 3, this is 4. So these were last month. Now, if you look at 4 and 5, they're pretty similar. Now, when I opened the package, I'm like, I've already gotten this color. And someone had messaged me on Instagram and said, I got the same color again. I'm like, I thought so too until I started knitting it. When I started knitting it, I noticed this one has a lot more lighter. I mean, you can tell this one is darker. This one has a lot more lighter and green in it. This one has like black throughout it and just a darker tone. They're very, very close, but they are different. So I put a waffle stitch marker in here. So obviously last month I finished the black. So I've gotten color 5 in, did the black. I'm now on color 6. Once I finish that, I'll do the other black to be caught up. In the same bag here, sorry, my nails keep snagging my yarn. In the same bag, I haven't started this, but this is the other pattern I'm doing, the Anna Zadora shawl. So I'm using white as a contrast for that. I haven't started that until I'm done with this, but this one will go a lot faster because it's pretty small yet. So yeah, happy with that. That is just my little monthly add-on projects. Got yarn coming out everywhere. Okay. All right, the last thing I worked on is my chevron fade blanket. A lot of times I forget to talk about this blanket in the podcast because I do a separate video with Lori every month where we do an unboxing of the Sock Yarn Society, which I'm using for this. But I remembered this month, yay. All right, so, and I dropped it. Hold on. All right, so this is the make along I'm doing with Lori. We're making blankets. This is in my By the Bay bag co. This is the El Grande bag. I am making the chevron fade. And sorry if I repeat myself here, but I have been having problems with this one. The patterning, when you do each strip, here's my this month's strip. When you do each strip, after you crochet, of course it wants to curl like this a lot. But you're supposed to pick up with your main color, and the instructions, you pick up so many stitches around. But then when you're done with the blanket, then you pick up and you do a border, and it says pick up every stitch. So some of the months I was reading the border instruction where I was picking up every stitch and crocheting around. And then some of them I was reading the correct, which I was like picking up every couple of stitches and going around. And then when I realized that, I was just disgusted. And then I looked at the ones that with the correct instructions, and I'm like, I don't like that because it's already having a hard time laying correctly. And picking up every few was like stretching it in a weird way, and it just didn't look right. And it was hard to attach it nice and straight. So my friend Allison to the rescue. She's a crocheter. She does not knit. And she offered to help me out. So she took all of my pieces, and the ones that I had picked up every few stitches, I had all tore out. And so she recrocheted those, and then she attached them. And it looks great, and it looked nice and flat. So this is what the nice flat piece will look like. So it's kind of hard to show it month by month. So because she had seamed all of that up through September, I'm like, okay, I just need to stay on target for October, November, December. And then I told her I'm going to come to her house and have her help me seam because she did like a lovely job, and I want it to look exactly the same as it already looks. So here is the October colorway. Trying to stretch it out a little bit. The other color I'm using is also Arkansas Yarn Co. on Yummy Sparkle Base in the colorway Silent Service that I had in my stash. So yeah, so I am caught up in a few days. Lori and I will do the unboxings for November. So then I will stay hopefully caught up for 2 more months. And this obviously isn't a full-size blanket. I am going to be using it on the end of my king-size bed as decorative. And probably, let's face it, it's going to be a cat blanket. The fanciest cat blanket ever. So, but yeah. So I feel like I've gotten a lot done on some projects that needed some work. This next week I also need to work on my Tunisian crochet class. It's coming up November 18th, I think. Yeah, so that is all for my current making. So let's go into acquisitions. All right, so you've already seen a few of them. So Arkansas Yarn Co. I had bought the Teenybutton. Knitty McPurly. So you saw the one I got. Get out my bag here. So this one I got for me. So this is the other color. This is called Dusty. I love this color so much. So this will become this for me. Lori and I will be twinsies, but not exact twinsies. I'm excited. And this knits so fast. This will be cast on this weekend, guaranteed. So I got that from Knitty McPurly. Then I was watching one of my favorite podcasts, which is the Skein Scoop. Skein Scoop is Skein Yarn Shop. They are located in Rhode Island, and I love watching them, and they do a really good job when they podcast. It's like a regular podcast showing what they make and such, but they also show us in the shop, like not in a pushy salesman way, like, here, buy something. They just show how excited they are about it, and that's how they get you. So this is the thing that made me go onto their website. Doesn't look like much. It's just a pouch, okay? It's just a pouch for your notions. Nothing in there. But it has this where you can basically take a bag and, strap it around, basically, and tie it around your bag. So it's on the outside of your bag. And that's when I'm like, oh, that's nice. You don't, like, for this bag, where you wouldn't have to, like, search at the bottom of your bag for your notions pouch. That's where this comes into play. But then it felt silly just getting this, right? So I just looked to see, if there was any sales or whatever. Then I had found that they had Chelsea Lux on sale, which, interestingly, the owner of Skein Yarn Shop's name is also Lori. And then my Lori, Arkansas Yarn Co., they also sell Chelsea Lux. That was the first time I bought any, and it does feel lovely. But at some point, they had this on sale at Skein, and I don't know if they were clearancing things out or old colors or whatever. And I went on look, and all of them were sold out except for this one, and it was one Skein. And I love this color. I have a sweater in this color. Not this yarn, but this color. And so I could not pass up on this good deal. It was basically like almost half off. So I had thought about using this for my sock pattern, the green, but I think I'm going to use the light green I have in stash already. So this will just go in my stash. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So yeah. Then one yarn that brand that I have gotten from Skein before that I love, it is actually in my lace and fade boxy, is Junk Yarn. I love her base. I love her colors she chooses. So I'm like, oh, let's see what Junk Yarn they have. And they were sold out of a lot of it. But I found this one. It's lovely. This is on the Boss Sock 2-ply, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Le Rope? I don't know what that refers to, but that is the colorway name. So yeah, that is the yarn I got. And then I also bought a sticker for my daughter, which she already has. And it says, "Till death do us art," because she loves art and drawing. And I thought that that was appropriate. And then the girls stuck this in, which I thought was super cute. There's them. So yeah, very happy with my purchases from them. And then I got one more thing. Sorry, there's like, my hair is attacking me. Here it is. For those of you following the Stripe Along 2023 Mal, Charmed and Dangerous made a special narwhal. And gave each of us coordinators one, so which was super sweet. I don't have any of her narwhals. So yeah, this is a fall narwhal. It was on sale at Kimbers Cozy Creation shop online, but they have sold out since then. So yeah, that is all my purchases here. Yes. So future makes, like I said, the Flux Cowl, definitely happening. The other thing that acquisition related, but I don't have it here, is if you sign up for Arkansas Yarn Co. app, have the app, a lot of times you will get notified of special deals, sales, where you normally won't get notified. So the other day, I saw something came through, and yarn went on sale that I had been eyeing for a particular project. And so I bought it, and I am going to make the Lotta dress by Marie Green. This has been in my queue since whatever year it came out. I feel like it was the year like after I started knitting. So it's been quite a few years. I've never made a dress. I feel like that, not like it's going to be harder, it's just a lot of knitting. It's Noro. I was trying to think Noro yarn. I got like a gray color that I'm going to make for that dress. So don't know how long it's going to take me. Don't know anything about it, but it has been on my queue for years. And like I said, I like to go through my stuff every few months to see if I even still want the yarn, if I still want to make the thing. And I still want that dress after this many years. So I felt like it was the perfect time when they came up with a sale. Like, all right, it's time. I'm going to at least get the yarn and get it in my stash so I'm ready to cast it on. So that will be happening at some point. So we still have a few more days in October, so I'm not going to go over stash numbers or goals quite yet because there's still a few days. So that's it for today, y'all. I'm happy you're here. Make sure you comment below to enter to win both the cotton yarn, and the package of my new release, the Infinite Happiness Cowl. So thank you for watching. I will see you again in 2 weeks.